Hi guys, DN Neo here, and this is going to be my review of Gotham Knights. Now, there is a few things to get out of the way. One, this is the first review that I'm doing that will be on Patreon early. The links are in the About section and all of that. If you want to check it out, absolutely awesome. If not, absolutely awesome as well. Um, but this will be up early there, and then it will be on YouTube when I decide, basically. Um, now, the next thing to kind of get into quickly, um, this game was very different for me. It left with a very weird feeling at the end, and it kind of did leave stuff a little bit bitter. But I'm recording this the day after that I finished, just because I wanted it fresh. So I'm gonna try and actually draw back a little bit, and I don't want to slag this game off because I don't think it deserves it. But I also do think it did a lot of stuff wrong. So, with that being said, let's jump into the review of Gotham Knights. So, Gotham Knights. Well, I'm going to start with what they did bad. In my opinion, again, this is all opinion based. Um, the gameplay was janky as hell, and it made it very frustrating to play. Very frustrating. And I mentioned in my streams of this game as well that it was I was battling against the game, not the bosses or the mechanics, but the actual game. It felt like I was battling against it. It really kind of it really it it made the whole thing um tiring. Um I don't want to go as far as unpleasant because I think they did a lot of things in this game right, to be honest. A lot of things right. I think they tried a lot of new stuff in terms of its Gotham Knights. It is a Batman franchise game, and Batman wasn't the main character. And I think also a few of the menus were really difficult to navigate, and difficult because I don't really know why is the truth. The whole experience and game felt like it hadn't been polished. It hadn't been finished completely. Um, After saying that, I feel like they were trying to build on a formula that um, the four, sorry, previous games had kind of tried to build up. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with them trying something new. And I actually praise them for that. You know, there are too many games now where it's the same old thing and it's the same old themes and games and same mechanics and all of that. And not necessarily mechanical wise did they do anything differently, but they did try doing something different. Now, in my stream, I was told that apparently they're working on a number two. Now, I gotta be honest, guys, and this isn't me being mean. This isn't me being whatever. I probably won't be doing it. I'm not. Well, if it comes out free on the PlayStation Plus thing, then maybe. But I'm not gonna spend money on it. Unless they've completely turned things around, which they could have. They could have, and I'm not saying that they can't build on this foundation, but they'd have to do a lot of stuff. They'd have to do a lot of um, cleaning up, a lot of cleaning up, and they'd have to do a lot of making sure that um, they really kind of just make the game not so janky. I mean, I'm usually okay for janky in games. I've played many janky games, and this was a janky game that I couldn't ignore the jank and or the messing up or the constant, well, not constant, but battling with it. And that's it's not fun. It's not fun. And the problem is that game companies are asking so much for games now, and it is. I don't care what anybody says. It is so much money. At the end of the day, the game companies are fine, unless it's an indie company, but then they charge less anyway because they're trying to build something up. So that's a whole other thing. But um, it really it ruined the good of the game. I guess that's the best way of putting it. It ruined the good in the game, and it ruined my enjoyment of it. And I'm not big on graphics. I'm not big on does it have a flashy new sticker on it or any of that crap or selling point, right? Because at the end of the day, the story and characters really, at least for me, unless it's an online kind of game like Black Ops or whatever, then fair enough. I suppose it is all to do with gameplay. But if it's story, then for me personally as a gamer, when I sit down and play, that's where I want to be immersed into. That's where I want to kind of dive into, I guess. That's where I want to bite into. That's where I want to be drawn into. And the game and the mechanics and the jankiness pulled me out of that. And it's not nice. It's really not nice. And it's a shame because, and I said this in my stream a few times, that I absolutely praised them for doing a Batman franchise game where it wasn't Batman. It wasn't Batman going around Gotham saving everyone, and they did something different. And they did something different with characters that maybe people don't know. And I think that if it wasn't, and I don't know if it wasn't or was, that should have been the selling point. That should have been the bring into focus, and they did that quite a lot. To all their credit, but again, that jankiness, it ripped me out of it. it completely destroyed my immersion of the game. Um, the next thing I want to talk about, the ending. Well, the ending completely made me feel deflated. Completely made me feel deflated. And it really, it really suffered because of it. I didn't understand why Batman comes in at the end for 2 seconds and essentially saves the story. He um his last move of the game, which was very Bruce Wayne and very Batman. This isn't a criticism of the character Batman or Bruce Wayne, but more um the criticism of it felt like everything that you had done in the game was for nothing because all it took was one of his apprentices to, or one of the Bat family, one of the Gotham Knights, to say, hey, this is wrong. Snap out of it. You're Batman. You don't do this. And that was awesome for me. I know we're talking about the bad stuff, but that was awesome. That was absolutely awesome to see that. And it was a moment, and I had a really, really big smile on my face when I was watching that. But then he saves the day. They bring him in at the end for 2 seconds, basically, and he saves. It destroyed everything. So not only did the mechanical aspects of the game take me out of it for the beginning, middle, and end, and struggling with it, but also the ending just felt flat because Batman saves. Even though he's apparently been dead this entire time, which, okay, fair enough, technically he had, it was just a Lazarus bit. And then Talia al Ghul is suddenly the boss battle. The boss battle was nothing. I mean, I struggled with it, but it was nothing. It wasn't really grand. It went from shit, he's back, to fighting Talia, to he gets in the Batwing and saves the day. That was it. That is all I could take away from the ending of this story of mystery and are people who they say they are and what side is everybody on and trying to figure out, is Batman still alive, did he die, all of that, to three aspects. He's alive, you kick Talia al Ghul's ass, he saves the day, and he dies again. It was very, and I don't know, maybe the ending was rushed, maybe they ran out of time, maybe all of that was right, okay, but it doesn't matter because a game should never be rushed. I don't give a shit what company you're in. You are killing games. You're killing games. If you're a company saying, this deadline, if you're a company that's saying, hey, get it done, finish it, we've got this deadline, you are killing the gaming market. All it takes is to explain to us in whatever way, hey, we're just putting some polishes on the end, and we would be fine with that. Or the majority of game, at least for a story game, right? If you explain to us that, hey, we're adding to the ending, we want to make sure it's grander, we want to make sure that it's worth the ending, We'd understand that. I don't know any gamer, any real gamer that does storyline video games that wants a subpar, felt rushed ending. I don't know any gamer anywhere that wants that. I refuse to believe that. Absolutely refuse to believe that. Now, if it was 6 months of delays because of the ending, then fair enough. But if they just say, hey guys, we're just trying to make sure that this ending is the best we can do, we know what the problem is, boom, yeah, cool, give us a new release date when you got it, jobs are good, and we'll see you when the game's released. That's it. The jobs are good. That is literally it. Um, Now, okay. Now to get onto the good stuff. The good stuff. Because this game did a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. Um, First of all, I want to talk about the interaction between the characters. The interaction between the characters and the emotion and diving into those characters and diving into them individually as a collective as well, but individually as well, I thought was mwah, chef's kiss. Absolutely beautiful. And I know that's going to sound weird because the game's janky and it broke my immersion. But those moments made me want to play on. I wanted to know what's the next conversation with Alfred. I wanted to know what's going on with Batgirl, with her father, and why is she not remembering him? That was enough. They didn't explain any of that. Is that just a Batgirl thing because of the grief? Like, anyway. But the immersion conversations was awesome. Absolutely phenomenal. Um, I liked the fact that even though I struggled with certain characters and liked certain characters more in combat, I liked that each individual character, Red Hood, Robin, Batgirl, Nightwing, they all felt different. They all felt different. Every single one of them. And I think that that is a credit, a real credit to them for doing that. Because it could have been very easy to do. One is a wannabe of Batman. Batgirl is, whatever. Robin is downgraded from wannabe Batman, and Red Hood just murders everyone. It would have been very easy to do that, and it didn't feel like that playing it. It may have came across, and in all fairness, I kind of get that, but it didn't feel that way. When I was playing as Nightwing, I was playing as my Nightwing. When I was playing as Batgirl, I was playing as Batgirl. When I was playing as Robin, I was playing as Robin. When I was playing as Red Hood, I shot every. No, when I was playing as Red Hood, I was playing as Red Hood. And I think they did that really well. And it's something that's been done in the past or tried to be done in the past. And it's not always gone well. And I get it. It's difficult. You're making characters feel different. I do understand. There's only so many different mechanics and animations they can add in. But it did feel different. It did feel different, guys. Um, and I'm very, very happy to say that. Genuinely, very, very friggin' happy to say that. And I'm so glad that they did that and that again, fly on the wall, but we're not. We don't know how much time they spent on that, but they do feel different and they feel like their own characters. They feel like they have their own story within the story that's going on. They all feel like the the story of how are they going to become the next Batman? How are they going to get their for lack of a better term, knighthood? You know, how are they going to become the next knight of Gotham? Um, but again, and I'm sorry, I'm going back to it. That ending, it ruined it. It ruined it all. It absolutely killed that feeling. That yeah. Um, Another bad point. Sorry, I'm now jumping across. Um, I would have loved to have seen this game go, hey, it's at the ending. Which night do you want to play as the ending? Because I was happy to see Robin's ending, but if I had the choice, then I maybe would have picked somebody else. So just give me a choice. At the end of the day, just give me a choice of whose ending do I want to see. I probably would have picked Jason's, but then I really wanted to see Nightwing, um, to see if he finally stepped up to be the next Batman. Um, but again, the ending, it ruined it. So I think they ported over a lot of stuff from Arkham series, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't know if people didn't like that or whatever. Nothing wrong with that. Had nothing bad or felt bad about seeing familiar things. None of it. Apart from the detective thing. But that's just because I didn't understand it. I'm sure there's people that do understand all that, but I just didn't. Um, but it just. I tell you what it is. I wanted to enjoy this game. I wanted to experience Gotham in a new way, in new eyes, and it's just fucking ruined because of the jankiness and that ending. Anyway, I want to talk about the Court of Owls. I want to talk about the Court of Owls because the Court of Owls, I know they've been in comics, but as far as I can tell, they've not really been used massively in an animated series or in a game franchise before. I could be wrong with that, and if I am, then I apologize. But I want to know more about the Court of Owls. That was the thing. Like, I was getting wrapped into the Court of Owls and who they are and what they're doing and what's what is their ultimate goal and what's every member and how corrupted have they made Gotham. Um, all of that. I was sucked into that journey, absolutely sucked into that journey. And you know what? It could have been very easy for them to do Two-Face, Mr. Freeze. Well, Mr. Freeze was in the game, but as a main villain for these young foursome to try and gain their stripes in Gotham and take over from the Bat. And again, I say that, and yeah, they could have done so much more with that ending. Um, but and they didn't. They went with the Court of Owls, and for me personally, it added a sin. It added a grit. It added a dirtiness into Gotham. It added a. I kept saying it that I kind of felt like I was in a Saw film with some of the Court of Owls stuff, and um, that's okay. Um, it did kind of throw me off balance, but I liked that. I liked that. I tell you what it was. If you've eaten a meal that you really, really like over and over again, not every single day or each day, and somebody adds a new flavor or just does something different with it, and you go, ooh, ooh, what? Wait, what's that? And it improves on what you've liked for so many years, and it draws you in, and now you only want that, and now you want to play around with your favorite dish. It was the same thing that I was sucked into it, and I wanted to play in the Court of Owl's world. I wanted to dive in. I wanted to learn how have they been kept secret for so long, and I wanted to, you know, in a video game setting. I know that, I've seen stories of Court of the Owls in comic books and other things, so I was kind of aware that they were a higher up kind of rich snobs fan club, basically. Um, but the dirtiness and grittiness and bringing them in and throwing you into kind of this almost Saw play world. That that again, it was one of the aspects of the game that kept me playing. It kept me playing, and it kept me interested. And I really, really felt like this. If it wasn't for the jankiness, and I am gonna say it, if it wasn't for the ending, I would have loved this game so much more. Because it's not, and because of the game we got, I can only say I liked it. I enjoyed it, but I couldn't dive in. I wanted more, and the game didn't give me more. And I understand that we all want more from games, but I wanted more of the Court of Owls. I wanted more of the Four Knights. I wanted more of Alfred, for fuck's sake. We got a lot more of Alfred, which I loved. Absolutely loved. And I think that was so smart. We saw um, you know, different people step up, and informants and the cops, and all of that flavoring really did amazingly. Just the jankiness and the ending and a few other things which were very minor and was personal rather than just meh, and it destroyed the game for me. Um, but there's if they're going to do a number two, they really really need to think about what they're gonna do. Really, really need to think about what they're gonna do, because, as I said, if I see this game, Gotham Knights 2 or whatever, I won't be buying it, guys. And that's probably the harshest and most negative thing I can say. I won't be putting my money on it. At least not till it's free or it's come down in price. Um, I don't know, that's kind of a negative ending, but that was kind of it. It was fun and excitement and intrigue splashed with disappointment and sadness and just meh, what's this? Uh, so yeah, I do apologize about that, guys, but um, and I felt really weird about doing this review because I knew that it was gonna be mixed, and I knew that I was gonna feel weird about. Well, I've played it, I've completed it, I didn't just finish, and now I'm doing a review of why I didn't finish it. I finished it, I sat through it. Um, And here's the twist. I'm glad I did. I'm glad I checked it out. I'm glad I saw a direction. I'm glad I saw a way that the Batman franchise in video games could go. And for that reason alone, it was worth doing it. I loved the story, I loved the flavors of the characters, loved the Court of Owls, but damn it, I wanted more. And I wanted it polished, and I didn't want any jank. And so, yeah, I'm very much on the fence, but it was okay. It was good. It was good. And but I can't say that I loved it and I enjoyed every second. So, again, I know that's a bit of a downer, guys, but, and I am so, so sorry, but that is just how it is. That's how I feel about it. Let me know whether you're on Patreon or whether it's in the comments down below what you felt of Gotham Knights if you've played it. Thank you so much for being with me with the journey of this game. I'm going to get the hell out of here. Bye bye for now.